We sent a distress signal, murmured Commander Zhenna, watching stars vanish behind a wall of black metal. Her 12 eyes tracked the impossible sight, ship after ship emerging from quantum space, each one darker than the void itself. That's not a response fleet, another alien stuttered, his translucent form flickering with fear. No, Zhenna said softly, her voice barely carrying over the proximity alarms. That's a punishment. The Kalari research station had been under siege for 7 days. The Devourers, a nomadic species that consumed entire civilizations, had found them in deep space, far from any trade routes or military patrols. Standard protocol was simple: send a general distress signal and hope someone nearby could help. Zhenna hadn't expected anyone to answer. The Kalari were a minor species, their scientific contributions modest, their military non-existent. When the distress signal went out, it was more ritual than hope. A final cry into the darkness before the inevitable. But something had heard them. The first sign was the Devourers stopping their assault. The massive bioships that had been slowly digesting the station's outer hull suddenly pulled back, their attention turned to something else. Then the subspace channels went silent, not empty, but dead, as if something was consuming the very medium of communication. Commander, her science officer had whispered, we're detecting gravitational anomalies. Multiple sources. They're everywhere. That's when the first human ship appeared. It didn't emerge from hyperspace like civilized vessels. It tore through reality itself, leaving quantum scars that made their sensors scream. The ship was wrong, not built for beauty or efficiency, but for something primal. Every angle was sharp, every surface designed to hurt the eye, every system redundant 3 times over. Unknown vessel. Zhenna had broadcast. Hope mixing with uncertainty. This is Kalari Station. We are under attack by Devourers. Please assist. The response came in perfect Kalari, though no human should have known their language. Acknowledged. Stand clear. Then the rest of the fleet arrived. How many? Someone whispered as ship after ship materialized. 40, 50. Still counting, the tactical officer replied, his voice breaking. Commander, they're energy signatures. These aren't rescue ships. They didn't come to save us. They came to end what hurt us. Zhenna realized aloud. The human fleet moved with terrifying coordination. No communication between ships, no hesitation, just silent, lethal purpose. The Devourers, who had spent millennia as the galaxy's nightmare, suddenly found themselves prey. This is the TDF consequence. A human voice announced across all channels. Devourer fleet, you have violated Statute 7 of the Deathworld Accords. Surrender is not an option. Deathworld Accords? Zhenna Zaid asked. What are they? The first human ship fired. Not energy weapons or missiles, but something far worse. The projectile hit a Devourer bioship and kept going, through it, into it, spreading like a virus. The massive creature vessel began to dissolve from the inside out. Nanophage weaponry, the science officer breathed. They're using the Devourer's own biology against them. The Devourer fleet, which had never known fear, tried to flee. Space itself seemed to rebel against them. Human interdiction fields, impossible by all known physics, trapped them in pockets of twisted spacetime. Please. The Devourer Overmind's psychic scream echoed across all consciousness. We surrender. We beg for mercy. You consumed the Threll civilization, the human commander responded, voice devoid of emotion. 14 billion souls. Did they beg? That was our nature. We must feed. And this is ours. We must protect. What followed wasn't a battle. It was an execution. The humans didn't just destroy the Devourer fleet, they unmade it. Weapons that shouldn't exist tore apart the fundamental forces holding the bioships together. Gravitational shears that turned space into a blender. Temporal weapons that aged sections of ships while leaving others untouched, creating paradoxes that reality resolved by simply erasing the affected areas. The humans answered. And now the stars are quieter, Zhenna said, watching the last Devourer ship implode. But the human fleet didn't power down. If anything, more ships kept arriving. Massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed space stations. Carriers that launched swarms of fighter craft like angry insects. And behind them all, something else, a ship so large it had its own gravity well. Kalari Station, the human commander's voice returned. This is Admiral Sarah Chin of the Terran Defense Force. Are you secure? Why yes, Zhenna stammered. The Devourers are gone. Thank you. Gone from here, Chin corrected. Not gone enough. I don't understand. Your distress signal reached Earth. We traced the Devourer fleet's quantum signature back through 17 systems. They've been feeding for 3,000 years. A pause. That ends today. You're going after all of them? Jannah couldn't hide her shock. The entire Devourer civilization? Never scream unless you want Earth to hear you, Chen replied. And when Earth hears a scream, we don't just stop the immediate threat. We stop it from ever threatening anyone again. The tactical display updated, showing human fleets emerging in dozens of systems simultaneously. Every known Devourer hive, every breeding ground, every supply line, all targeted at once. This is genocide, someone on Jannah's bridge whispered. No, Chen's voice carried the weight of terrible purpose. This is pest control. The Devourers made a choice 3,000 years ago to become galactic predators. Today, they learn what happens when predators disturb a Deathworld's sleep. We sent out a signal. We didn't know death would answer, Jannah murmured. Not death, Chen corrected. Humanity. We're much worse. Death is indiscriminate. We choose our targets very, very carefully. The main human fleet began to move, leaving a smaller contingent to guard the station. As they entered quantum space, their drives created harmonics that sounded like war drums echoing across the cosmos. Admiral, Jannah called out, Why? Why respond with such force for a species you don't even know? Chen's response came just before the channel closed, because we remember what it's like to scream into the dark and have no one answer. Never again. Not on our watch. Over the next solar day, the galaxy watched in horrified as humanity systematically dismantled a threat that had existed for millennia. The Devourers didn't just lose, they ceased to exist as a spacefaring species reduced to a few primitive colonies on resource-poor worlds forever watched by human monitoring stations. Will they come for us next? Jannah's aide asked fearfully. No, Jannah said with certainty. Don't you understand? We're under their protection now. We screamed for help and they answered. That makes us family. How do you know? Jannah pointed to the human ships still stationed around them. Because they're not leaving. They're building a permanent outpost. The humans have a saying, you hurt one of ours, we end all of yours. But we're not human. We are now, Jannah said softly. The moment they answered our call, we became theirs to protect. And God help anyone who threatens us again. The galaxy would remember this day not as when humanity revealed their military might, but as when they revealed their true nature. They weren't conquerors or empire builders. They were the universe's self-appointed guardians, sleeping giants who woke only when innocence screamed. And when they woke, entire civilizations discovered why Earth was classified as a death world. The void between stars isn't empty, it's full of human ships waiting. Not for conquest, but for someone anywhere to need them. Paradise builds. Death worlds protect. And mercy? Mercy is for those who've never made the innocent scream.